I still remember that night like it was burned into my mind. The air felt normal. The city lights outside my window were calm. Everything looked peaceful, but inside me, something was about to break forever. That was the night I discovered the truth, the night I realized the man I trusted, the man I loved, was living a double life. And what hurt the most wasn't just the cheating. It was the way he smiled at me every day, like I was the only one, like I was special, like I was safe. But I was. I was just fooled. It started with something small, a notification, a simple buzz from his phone. He was in the shower. The phone lit up beside me. I wasn't the type to check phones. I believed in trust. I believed love meant respect. But something about that moment, something about the way the screen flashed, made my chest tighten. The message preview was short, just 4 words. "I miss you already, red heart." My hands froze. My breathing slowed. I stared at the phone like it was a weapon. I told myself it could be anyone, a cousin, a friend, a misunderstanding. But deep down I already knew. Because when your heart knows, it knows. I didn't open the message, not yet. I waited, I listened to the shower running, my mind racing with 1,000 thoughts. Then he walked out, drying his hair, and the second he saw his phone in my hand, his face changed. Just for half a second, but that was enough. That tiny flicker of panic, that tiny crack in his calm mask. "What's that?" he asked casually. I forced a smile. "Someone texted you," he laughed. "Oh, probably work." Work at 11:47 p.m. with a heart emoji. I nodded slowly. "Yeah, probably." He reached for the phone quickly, too quickly, then turned away, typing, deleting, hiding, erasing, like a man cleaning fingerprints from a crime scene. That night, I didn't sleep. I lay beside him while he breathed peacefully, while I stared into the darkness, wondering how long, how many times, how many lies, and the scariest question of all. Who was I to him, really? Because if someone can cheat while holding your hand, what else can they do? His name was Ryan, and from the outside we looked perfect. People envied us. Friends said we were goals. He was charming, confident, always knew what to say, the kind of man who made you feel like the world stopped when he looked at you. And I fell for it, I fell hard. We met 2 years ago. He walked into my life like a movie scene, holding coffee, smiling like he had no secrets, and I believed him. I believed the way he talked about loyalty. I believed the way he promised me forever. I believed the future he painted with his words. But I didn't know some people don't paint futures, they paint illusions. At first, everything was beautiful. Dates, late-night talks, laughing until our stomachs hurt. He would hold my face and say, "You're the best thing that ever happened to me." And I would smile because I thought love was supposed to feel like that, warm, safe, certain. But slowly things started changing. Little things. He became more private with his phone, he started taking calls outside, he suddenly had meetings at strange hours. And every time I asked, he'd turn it around on me. "Why don't you trust me? You're overthinking. You're being dramatic." And I hated that because he made me feel guilty for noticing his behavior, for sensing the truth, for having instincts. I started doubting myself. Maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I was insecure. Maybe love meant ignoring small doubts. So I stayed quiet, I swallowed my questions, I smiled through discomfort because I didn't want to lose him. But what I didn't realize was that I was already losing him. He was just still physically there, like a ghost pretending to be a boyfriend. Then one day I met her without knowing it. It was at a friend's birthday dinner. Ryan came late, as usual. He walked in with that charming smile, and beside him was a girl, pretty, confident, wearing a soft perfume that made my stomach twist. Ryan introduced her quickly. "This is Chloe. She works with me." Chloe smiled at me, but her eyes didn't look innocent. They looked familiar, like she already knew things about me, like she had already heard my name before. I shook her hand. "Nice to meet you." She tilted her head slightly. "Oh, I've heard so much about you." Ryan laughed awkwardly. "Chloe talks too much." I laughed too, but inside my heart was screaming. Something wasn't right. That night, Chloe sat across from Ryan, and I watched the way she looked at him, like she wasn't just a coworker, like she was something else, and Ryan avoided my eyes. That was when doubt turned into fear. Not fear of losing him, but fear of realizing I never truly had him. 2 weeks later, everything collapsed. It was a normal afternoon. Ryan said he was going out with friends. "Just the guys," he told me. He kissed my forehead. "Don't wait up." And he left. Something in me snapped. I didn't even know why, but I followed. Not like a crazy person, not running after him, just quietly, curiously. Because when love starts feeling like suspicion, something is already broken. I stayed far behind. He drove across town, not to a bar, not to a friend's place, but to a hotel. My hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. Hotel? My heart pounded. I watched him park, watched him walk inside like he belonged there, like he had done this before. I sat frozen, telling myself maybe it's work, maybe it's a conference, maybe I'm insane. But then 5 minutes later, she arrived. Chloe. Same hair, same perfume, same confident walk. And she didn't hesitate. She went straight inside like she knew exactly where to go. My throat went dry. I couldn't breathe. It felt like my chest was filling with heavy stones. This was it. This was the truth. Not a rumor, not a suspicion, a fact. I stayed in the car for almost an hour, tears falling silently, my whole body shaking, and the worst part, I still didn't want to believe it. I still wanted an explanation. I still wanted him to come out and prove me wrong. But deep down, I knew. When he finally walked out, his shirt slightly wrinkled, his hair messy, and Chloe followed behind him, smiling, laughing like she had just won something. Ryan kissed her cheek, not even hiding it, not even caring. And in that moment, something inside me died. Not my love, not my sadness, not my innocence, not my trust, not my softness. Because betrayal doesn't just break your heart, it rewrites who you are. I drove home in silence. Ryan came back later, acting normal. He sat beside me. "Hey, babe." I looked at him, my voice calm, too calm. "Did you have fun with the guys?" He smiled. "Yeah, just chilled." I nodded slowly, then I said, "I hope Chloe enjoyed it too." His face went pale, silence, the air turned cold. "What?" he whispered. I stared straight into his eyes. "I saw you." His mouth opened, then closed, like a man caught in his own trap. And for the first time, Ryan had no words. But I wasn't done. That was only the beginning. I wasn't just going to cry. I wasn't just going to beg. No, if he wanted betrayal, I was going to give him consequences. And I was about to expose the biggest secret he never wanted anyone to know. Ryan didn't talk for a while. His face went pale, but his eyes weren't angry. They were scared. And that told me everything. When people get caught, they don't always feel guilty. Sometimes they feel fear, not of losing love, not of losing trust, but fear of losing the mask, the perfect image, the lies they built their whole life on. He swallowed hard. "I can explain." Explain? That word almost made me laugh. Explain what? How you kissed another woman like it was nothing. How you looked me in the eyes every single day and still betrayed me. I stood up slowly. My legs felt weak, but my voice was steady. "No, Ryan," I said quietly. "You don't get to explain." Hands reached for mine. "Please, it wasn't serious." Not serious. That's what they always say, like betrayal only counts if it lasts forever, like my pain depends on how serious he meant it. I pulled my hand away. "You lied to me," I whispered. His voice cracked. "I didn't want to hurt you." That was the funniest part, because he didn't want to hurt me, but he still did, again and again. He stared at the floor, breathing like he was drowning. Then he said something I wasn't expecting. "It's complicated." Complicated? Cheating isn't complicated. Lying isn't complicated. But then his phone buzzed again, and this time he didn't grab it fast enough. I saw the name on the screen, Chloe read, and right under it, one message: "You told her yet?" My stomach turned, so Chloe knew, she knew about me, she knew I existed, and she still smiled in my face like we were friends. Ryan saw my expression and panicked. "It's not what it looks like," I cut him off. "Stop." My voice was sharp now. "Just stop." I stared at him. "You didn't just cheat, Ryan, you planned it." Silence, and that silence was louder than any confession. I stepped back, shaking. My heart wasn't breaking anymore. It was hardening. Something clicked inside me. Chloe wasn't the beginning, she was just part of something bigger. Ryan wasn't only hiding an affair, he was hiding a life, a secret. And suddenly I remembered something. Months ago, Ryan begged me not to post about him online, not to tag him too much, not to mention his job. Back then, I thought he was just private. Now I realized he wasn't private. He was hiding. Not from strangers, from someone else, from consequences, from the truth. That night after he fell asleep, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I didn't break anything. I did something else, something dangerous. I opened his laptop. My hands trembled as I typed the password. And of course it was my birthday, because liars always pretend they care. The screen lit up, emails, messages, folders. And then I found it, a file buried deep, named something boring, something meant to be ignored. But my instincts were screaming. I clicked. And what I saw made my blood run cold. It wasn't about Chloe. It wasn't just cheating. It was worse. Ryan wasn't just a traitor, he was dirty. Contracts, money transfers, fake reports. Secrets that were never supposed to be seen. My breath shook. "What is this?" Ryan wasn't just a cheater. He was a fraud. A man living two lives, one with me and one built entirely on lies. In that moment, I realized something powerful. Ryan thought he was untouchable. Ryan thought I was weak. Ryan thought I would cry and forgive. But he forgot one thing: when a heart breaks, sometimes it doesn't shatter. Sometimes it becomes a weapon. And I wasn't going to destroy him with anger. I was going to destroy him with truth. Because if Ryan wanted to ruin my life quietly, then I would expose him loudly. And his biggest secret was about to become everyone's nightmare. That night, I didn't sleep. Not because I was crying, but because my mind was awake in a way it had never been before. Ryan was lying beside me, breathing peacefully, like he wasn't the reason my world had cracked open. Like he hadn't shattered everything we built. And I stared at the ceiling, realizing something terrifying. He thought he could get away with it. He thought I was just another girl who would break quietly, another girl who would forgive, another girl who would disappear with her pain. But I wasn't disappearing, not this time. The next morning, Ryan acted like a man walking on thin ice. He made coffee, spoke softly, kept looking at me like he was trying to read my next move. "Are you okay?" he asked. I smiled, a small, calm smile. "I'm fine." That smile confused him because he expected tears, yelling, weakness. But calmness is what scares guilty people the most. Ryan nodded slowly. "I told Chloe it's over," he said quickly. I didn't even look up. "That's nice." His voice became desperate. "It didn't mean anything, I swear." I finally turned to him, my eyes empty. "That's what makes it worse, Ryan." He froze. "If it meant nothing, then hurting me meant nothing too." His mouth opened, but no words came out. And I realized Ryan wasn't sorry because he loved me. Ryan was sorry because he got caught. That was the truth. And truth was the beginning of revenge. Later that day, I did something I never thought I'd do. I called Chloe. Her number was still in Ryan's phone, hidden under a fake name, but I found it. Of course I did. She answered on the second ring, her voice smooth, almost amused. "Hello." I paused, then spoke calmly. "It's me." Silence, then a soft laugh. "Oh, so you know." Not even denial, not even shame, just confidence. I gripped my phone tighter. "Yes," I said, "I know." Chloe sighed dramatically. "Look, I didn't want it to happen like this." I almost laughed, like this, like her smiling in my face, shaking my hand, pretending to be innocent. Her tone sharpened. "He told me you two were basically done." There it was, the classic excuse, the lie men feed two women at once. I swallowed hard. "Meet me." Chloe paused. "Why?" "Because I want to look at the girl who thought she won." Her breathing changed. Then she said quietly, "Fine, tonight, cafe on 9th Street. That evening, I walked into the cafe like a different person. Not the girl Ryan betrayed, not the girl who cried in silence, but the girl who finally saw clearly. Chloe was already sitting there, perfect hair, perfect makeup, perfect confidence. She looked up and smiled. "You're prettier than I expected." I sat down slowly. "And you're colder than I imagined." Chloe leaned back. "So what now?" I stared at her. "What now is you tell me the truth." She laughed softly. "The truth is Ryan is a mess." I nodded. "I know." Chloe's smile faded. "He told me he loved me." My eyes didn't move. "He told me the same." Silence stretched between us. Then Chloe whispered, "But that's not why I'm here." I blinked. "What do you mean?" Chloe leaned forward. "I didn't just meet Ryan by accident." My stomach tightened. "What?" Her eyes locked onto mine. "Ryan has secrets." My heart pounded. "I know." Chloe's lips curled. "No, you don't." She reached into her bag, pulled out her phone, and slid it across the table. Photos, screenshots, emails, messages. Ryan talking about money, deals, lying, using people. My throat went dry. Chloe whispered, "He isn't just cheating. He's involved in something bigger." My hands trembled. "What is this?" Chloe's voice was sharp. "It's the reason I got close to him." I stared at her, stunned. "You used him," she shrugged. "He deserved it." Then she looked at me. "And honestly, so do you if you stay quiet." My brain was spinning. Chloe wasn't just the other woman, she was part of the storm. And suddenly I realized Ryan's biggest secret wasn't just betrayal. It was something that could ruin his entire life, and I had proof. I leaned back slowly, my voice calm but deadly. "So, what do we do?" Chloe smiled, not sweet but dangerous. "We expose him." The next few days felt unreal, like I was living inside a movie where I wasn't the victim anymore. I was the one holding the ending. Ryan had no idea. He still walked around the apartment like nothing was truly wrong, still smiled, still acted like he could fix everything with a few soft words. But I watched him differently now. I saw the cracks, I saw the fear hiding behind his charm, because deep down Ryan knew. One night he stood near the kitchen pretending to scroll through his phone, but his eyes kept lifting toward me. "Are you mad at me?" he asked quietly. I didn't even look up. "No." That answer made him uncomfortable. Because anger is loud, anger is obvious, but calm means planning. He swallowed. I swear I'm trying. I nodded. I know. He stepped closer. I blocked Chloe. I almost smiled, blocked as if betrayal was just a button you could press away. He reached for my hand. I want us to move forward. I finally looked into his eyes, my voice soft. Me too. That single lie, because while he thought we were moving forward, I was moving toward revenge. After he fell asleep, I quietly got up. My heart wasn't racing anymore. It was steady, focused. I took his laptop again, opened the hidden folders. More emails, more documents, more proof. Ryan wasn't just cheating, he was involved in something illegal. Money being moved around, fake contracts, names that didn't belong. And the worst part, he was using people, smiling while he ruined lives behind closed doors. I took screenshots, saved copies, created a folder of everything. Every secret, every lie, every dirty detail. Because revenge isn't about screaming. Revenge is about evidence. The next day, Chloe texted me. He has a business event Friday night. Important people would be there, bosses, investors, everyone. I stared at the message and typed one word. Perfect. Friday night. A room full of people who respected Ryan, who thought he was successful, who had no idea who he really was. That was where it would end. Chloe and I planned everything carefully, step by step. No mistakes, no emotions, just precision. She had access to the guest list. I had the proof. Together, we had everything. Friday night arrived. The venue was beautiful, lights everywhere. People dressed in suits and expensive dresses, champagne glasses clinking. Ryan walked in like a king, shaking hands, laughing, confident. He introduced me proudly. This is my girlfriend. The word almost made me laugh. Chloe arrived 10 minutes later, staying in the shadows. Then she texted me. Now, my heart pounded. I stepped forward toward the stage, toward the microphone. Ryan noticed, confusion crossing his face. Babe. What are you doing? I smiled calmly. Just telling the truth. The room quieted. All eyes turned toward me. Ryan whispered desperately, stop. But it was too late. Once the truth starts, it doesn't stop. I lifted my phone and said clearly, my name is the woman Ryan betrayed, and tonight everyone deserves to know who he really is. Behind me, the screen lit up. The first email appeared, then another, proof, secrets, everything. Ryan stumbled back like the ground disappeared beneath him. Whispers spread. Investors stepped away. His boss stared in shock. Ryan's perfect life was collapsing in real time. The room went silent, not peaceful but dangerous, the kind before a storm destroys everything. Ryan stood frozen, his face pale, his mouth open but no sound coming out. His boss stepped forward sharply. Ryan, explain right now. Ryan's eyes darted like a trapped animal. He rushed toward me, whispering, please stop. I stared at him, my heart empty. You stopped being my problem the moment you lied. Investors began pulling out one by one. Then Chloe stepped forward, cold as ice. You really thought you were smarter than everyone, didn't you? Ryan's voice cracked. You set me up. Chloe tilted her head. No, Ryan, you set yourself up. She turned to the crowd. Ryan didn't just betray his girlfriend, he betrayed his company too. Gasps filled the room. Chloe lifted her phone. I've been collecting evidence for months. Ryan stumbled back. Why? Chloe's eyes hardened. Because you ruined my brother's life. You blamed him for your fraud. You let him take the fall. Ryan's mask shattered completely. He dropped to his knees, begging, please, I'll do anything. His boss stepped forward, voice like ice. You're done. Security moved in. Ryan screamed, this isn't fair. But consequences are honest. The doors closed behind him, and just like that, Ryan was gone, not as my boyfriend, not as the perfect man, but as what he truly was, a lie. The day after, the world felt quieter, not because it had changed, but because I had. Ryan's name was already whispered with shock. His accounts frozen, his reputation destroyed. I didn't feel joy. I felt relief. Chloe and I met one last time at tea.